Hey, I'm Mattia. In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to get started with a Reweb so you can get familiar with the interface and get started building as soon as possible. So we have a blank project right here. In Reweb, you can either build from scratch or start from some templates and pre-made sections that Reweb makes available. In this case, we're going to click on Add Section, and we see the library of sections that we can use. For example, we're just going to click and choose this header and this hero section and click Add, and we're going to now see the sections on our website. In the center, we see what is called the canvas. This is just the preview of our website where we can make changes and see what it looks like. On the canvas, we can zoom in and zoom out by pressing Command and scrolling. We can preview our website on tablet and mobile devices as well. We can select elements and change text. For example, we can change this headline. We can drag and drop elements around. We have like normal operations like duplicating blocks, deleting blocks, etc. This can be done either with right-clicking and choosing from the menu, or just like using shortcuts. We also have Ctrl-Z, Ctrl-Shift-Z, standard shortcuts to undo and redo actions. And if you ever forget them, you can just go over here and click on shortcuts and you'll see the full list. On the left, we have what is called the layers panel. This represents the tree of HTML elements and React components that make up our website. For example, here we can see that we have an H1, a paragraph, and then a div with two buttons. And whenever we click on a layer, we see the corresponding element on the canvas, and vice versa, when we click on the canvas, we see the layer selected. In the layers panel, we can also drag and drop elements and right-click to do some operations. And anywhere we want, we can just hover an element between two elements in the tree and decide to add a block in that position. For example, here we can add different types of elements. We can just like add simple HTML elements like a div or an H1, or we can add more complex components like a button, a card, a dialogue, or even whole sections like we saw before in the library. In this case, I just want to add some social proof to our hero, so I'm just gonna search for social proof, press enter, and we now have our social proof inserted above our headline. I'm gonna go and delete this badge, and we're ready to go. When we select an element, we also see a panel on the right where we can edit its properties and styles. For example, we can also edit the text from here, or we can just go edit its Tailwind classes. For example, I want this text to be bigger on desktop, so I can just say that from a medium breakpoint, I want this text to be 6XL, and this is gonna make it bigger. We can also delete classes. For example, I can delete this class that gives a max width, and this is gonna now expand to the full width. If we select a component instead, on the right, we will see also its props, if available. For example, with this button, we can see the size. We can change the size to small. We can change the variant to secondary, and we can play around with these props. When no element is selected, on the right, we'll see the global theme panel. Here's where we can change fonts, colors, and everything that affects the whole theme of the website. For example, for fonts, we can choose something like bricolage grotesque. We can make the buttons more rounded, and we can change the primary color to something like a blue. We can also use this little AI helper that by giving a prompt, for example, dark mode purple theme, it will just generate a theme for us so we can customize it much quicker. Another thing that we can do is to import existing components into Reweb by just pasting the code. This is very helpful, for example, in combination with V0, where we can use V0 to generate the skeleton of our UI and then import it into Reweb to customize it. When we use V0, we have to be careful to just copy this prompt and paste it at the end of our prompt on V0. So it tells V0 to basically structure the code in a way that is importable on Reweb without any errors. In this case, I already have generated this simple pricing section on V0. I can just copy its code, paste it here, click import, And if we scroll at the end of the canvas, we'll see the pricing section. And we will notice that first, it already adapted to our existing theme. And then this is completely customizable. We can customize it like any other block on Reweb. When we're done with our website or components, is the moment to export it to code. This is a premium feature, but everything else you've seen so far, you can try it completely for free. You can try all the features of the editor. You can use all the pre-made sections to build your website. So to export code, we have different options. First, we can go over to export code and click export, and this is going to download a zip file containing a Next.js code base for our entire website. So if we unzip this, we can see that this is a pretty standard Next.js application that comes with Tailwind and Shutdown UI configured. We see that we have pages, we have components, etc. But what if we have an existing code base for our project and we just want to add a page or component that we designed on Reweb to our code? This is also possible. We can just right-click any element on the canvas and click View Code, and this is going to show us the component code that we can just copy-paste into our app. This will show us also all the files that we need to touch to apply the theme, like fonts and colors and everything else. Also, we can actually just make changes directly from this code to our components. For example, this text, I can delete this class that gives a max width and click Save, and this is going to remove the max width. There is actually a quicker way than just copy-pasting code into our project. We can right-click and instead choose Add to Codebase, and it will give us a CLI command that we can paste into our terminal in our application and run it, and it will download the code of the component, install the dependencies, and add it to our codebase just with one command. Cool, so this was pretty much everything you need to know to get started with Reweb. I know it was a lot, but don't worry, if you have more questions, feel free to reach out on our Discord or email us at mattia@reweb.so. Hope you enjoy building with Reweb.